Thank you, choir. Perfect intro to the sermon today. A forever fellowship. Here's something I want you to think about. If you leave someone unforgiven, you're going to spend eternity with them. Did you ever think about that? So you better get it resolved. Because that'll be awkward in heaven. Right? Oh yeah, I didn't forgive you. Rough. Think about what it means to be in community together. Think about what it means to do this thing called Lent together. Think about what it means to do this thing called forgiveness together. It's just not turning. There we go. Almost. We'll leave it right there. You're good. Perfect. Thanks, dear. Lent offers this space for us to do these things together, because here in week 5 you may be finding letting go and giving up on your own might have been really tough. Some of you have lost your Ash Wednesday vows weeks ago. Some of you are trying to struggle to keep up with it. And in this way of forgiveness, let's be honest, all of us have failed. I have failed to be forgiving many times already in these 5 weeks. And here's what I know. Part of what it means to be church together is because I can't do it on my own. You can't do it on your own. We need one another. I need you. You need me. We all need one another. So look around. Look around. See people. Smile at them. Give them a little wave. Do whatever you need to do. See people. We are in this together. We are church together. If, and it's a big if we are willing to actually forgive, if we're actually willing to put skin in the game, if we're actually willing to trust one another, if we're actually willing to do this thing called faith together, and it not just be a list of beliefs that you list off in bullet point fashion in your head. So I love the Apostles' Creed. I think it's a great creed. However, I have one issue with it. And now, I'm stepping out into the edge of heresy, just so you know right now. Okay, I'm getting really close. I'm literally disagreeing with something in the Apostles' Creed, and it's the first word. Anyone know what that first word is? What is it? I. And it's important, don't get me wrong. Saying I believe something is important. But here's the thing. There are so many days I wake up, and more importantly, there are days where I'm going through the day, and if you ask me to say, I believe, I'm not sure I believe today. I'm not sure I actually can do this. I'm not sure I have faith today. My guess is some of you find yourself in that same place. There are days where I wake up and I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. Because I'm feeling it, right? I believe it. I trust in it. And there are other days I wake up and go, no, that's not one of those days. It's not been one of those weeks. But here's what I do know. Here's why we change that word from I to we. We believe in God, the Father Almighty. Because here's the thing, I need you to believe. Because I can't always do it on my own. There's so many days of doubt, so many days of anxiety, so many days of fear, but together we believe. And together we trust. And together we are faithful fail to forgive in a given week. Together is what Jesus was after in the first place. He gathered a group of disciples. He formed this thing called the church, an assembly, a body, a group of people we call my body, we call the light of the world, we call friends. Together we do this thing. And it's that concept that he brings into chapter 18 of the Gospel of Matthew. That this community thing is what is important. Now, as we get into the text today, something's been happening in chapter 18. The whole first beginning of it is Jesus gathering a group of children around him. And he calls them the least of these in this particular text. These least ones among us, these little children. And he gathers them and he looks at all of the people. And now, you've been around me for 18 months. Okay? And you know I like to tell you about how Jesus doesn't like people like me. Okay? He's not a big fan of religious leaders and religious scholars and people like Matt and I. Okay? More so me than Matt. He likes Matt a little bit better than me. And here's the deal. Because people like us, as religious leaders, hold ourselves up as the greatest, the smartest, the first. We don't want to be last and least. We want to be in. Right? We want to be in the in club with God. And so we study these Bibles and we get good at it. That was happening in Jesus' day, and he pointed at those same people and said, "Oh, you've missed the mark." Instead, he gathers children who these religious leaders who have looked at and said, "Well, they don't know anything." He gathers these children next to him and goes, "Here's your example. This is what the kingdom of God is like." Their faith, their trust, their continuing to forgive over and over and over again, their willingness to fight one moment and then embrace as friends the next. Think about all these wonderful traits that children have. He points to them and goes, that's the kingdom of heaven. That's the kingdom of God. That's the faith I want you to have. This least of these sort of faith. And this is a theme of Jesus. Jesus generally talks about three different groups of people. The least, the last, and the lost. The least. Those who we assume can't have all the smarts and all the stuff of faith. We can't list off all the bullet points. We don't have that Apostles' Creed all memorized. We don't have all the trappings of church and faith yet. Jesus points at them. The last, the people that we look around and go, they would be the last ones that God would consider to be holy or good or wonderful. There's people who are on the margins and on the edges. There's people who are on the margins and the edge of our own church community, our own community right here in the suburbs. There's people who seem to mess up over and over and over again. There's people who mess up in our own lives and we go, we just need to pull it together. And the lost. Those ones who at one point were who now ventured off in our lives. Those relationships that once were close, but for whatever reason, something sits in the middle of that relationship that makes it now distant. And sometimes forever seeming lost. And they're out there. And occasionally, or maybe even all the time, you think about them. You know, I wish something could bring them in. That's the context for this text here in the Gospel of Matthew. The lost, the last, and the least of these. Community is fragile. It's fragile in that if we don't grab a hold of one another and grab a hold of the least and the last and the lost, then we're not really community. We're not really being Christ-like. We're not actually embodying the faith. We've not put any skin in the actual game. We've not actually become Christ in the flesh. God in the flesh. We have to forgive. We have to trust. We have to embrace. We have to grab hold of people and say, this thing called church, this thing called faith, this thing called community and relationships is important. In fact, it's the thing that changes our lives and changes the world. Jesus, in telling this parable of this shepherd who goes out and finds that one sheep out of 100, what I love about it is he says these words, and if he finds it, truly I tell you, he rejoices over it more than over the 99 that never went astray. Do you hear the importance that Jesus is placing on this community and forgiveness idea? So much so that all of us in this room could stay right here and God would be far more excited about the one who was lost, who was brought back in the fold, than all of us sitting still here going, we're in it. Right? This is how important forgiveness is, and this is how Jesus launches into that whole thing of someone in the church has sinned against you. Go and point out that fault when the two of you are alone. Are we willing? Are we brave enough? Are we courageous enough to do this thing called church? And if so, he tells us what it means to do. To go and find that person who has offended us. That person who has committed some sort of trespass. That person who has some sort of debt to us in their life. And go and courageously talk to them. That's not what we do, by the way. We usually talk to somebody else about it. Oftentimes we'll talk to a whole lot of other people about that person, but will we actually go and embrace that person and say, look, I know we have something between us. Let's fix it. I'm going to give you a hug, essentially, right? Now, things don't always go well. That person doesn't always receive that, and the text is very honest about that. They don't receive it. What do? Go grab a few other people and say, look, this community thing, this relationship thing, this thing we call faith and church is so important. All of us are going to give you one big hug. Okay? Sometimes that doesn't work. So then, you grab the whole church and say, we care about you. Let's fix this thing. That's how important you are. That's how important this thing called community is in our lives. What if we will go grab the one and bring him back to the 99? What if we will embody a lifestyle of forgiveness? What if? See, this is where it gets real for us. Sometimes I wonder if we are really just a group of people who happen to show up at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, who like about 4 or 5 other people. Are we willing to go into the depths of relationships with one another and go, no, this is essential to my life. This is essential to me living out my faith. This is a we and not an I. All comes down to the reality of the hardest part, the most difficult aspect, forgiveness. Being a community together. And here's the thing, church. When you look at the media, and Matt and I chat with people out here in the world, and we say, hey, we're pastors. here's what I hear over and over again. Oh, okay, well, I used to go to church. I used to go to church. I'm spiritual, but not religious. I respect what you do, but I'm good. And why do people say that? And there's a whole other group of people who aren't that nice about it. It's because so often when they look at us as the Christian community, right? Good old Christian community, we haven't done the good work that Matthew 18 asks us to do. To forgive, to embrace the least and the last and the lost, to go after everyone in our lives and say, we want you to be a part of us. Not because we're some organization that's trying to build up membership, but because we actually care about relationships in our lives. Imagine what we would be portrayed in the media if we actually embraced people and made forgiveness the very mission of our community together. We would have a different reputation. People would go, oh, I want to be a part of that. And most of the time, those people who've given up on church wouldn't have given up because we wouldn't have given up on them. It would have been like this story, kept on going and going and going after them. Forgiveness. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I among them. There am I in the midst of them. I'm right there, God with skin on, in the middle of this real-life community that's willing to take the brave step of forgiving one another, of going after people, of saying that the lost, the last, and the least are important. That's what this table is all about. This table is a place where the kingdom of God is literally embodied. See, Jesus did this thing. He was celebrating the Passover meal. The last feast he would celebrate with his disciples. Feast of the Passover. Incidentally, it's a whole Jewish holiday and feast about forgiveness. And yet Jesus does something remarkable in the midst of it. He takes everyday bread, an everyday cup, and he lifts it up among them, and he says, this meal, this everyday meal, is my body and my blood. Guess what? It's for the forgiveness of your sins. Guess what? It's a covenant, a new covenant. What's that new covenant? That you love one another as I have loved you. It's a remembering together of the life, death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. In everyday common elements. Do you see what Jesus was doing there? It's not just this on the first Sunday of the month. It's every time we sit down at table together. It's who we decide to invite to that table. It's who we choose to forgive because they're coming to the table with us, sharing in this person, Jesus Christ. Community is at the very heart of it. Today, in the life of Grace Presbyterian Church, we're also celebrating what Jesus lifted up, the least of these. And so we've had a whole bunch of third graders and a couple ones that I think are a little older than that, who in the past week came together around this thing we call a milestone. Okay, the milestone of communion. I think traditionally you all have called it First Communion. We're not Catholics, so we're not exactly First Communion around here. You can bring a kid up at any time. You can be so small that they're holding them, we'll drop some juice in on their lips and it'll be fine. Like we're Protestants, that's how we do things, okay? But in this milestone, we bring them together so that they can understand some of the things that we talked about this morning. Who Jesus Christ is. What it means to call the bread his body and the cup his blood. What it means to partake of it together as a community of people. The fact that this table doesn't belong to Grace or to the Presbyterian Church. It belongs to God. And that God issues that same invitation that is issued at the end of the book of Revelation to all who are thirsty. Come. All who are hungry. Come. Come to the table. And be a part of this. If you are least of these, come. If you are last in society, come. If you've been lost, come and be a part of this. These milestones aren't just something that happens for them, it happens for us as a congregation as well. As we watch these kids and their families come up here today, we cross that same milestone and look at them and say, we are community. We are communing together. We are in this together.